Bonsoir, bonsoir, c'est Aegon. Live, le quatrième pas. Donc repartons dans cette enquête à multiples tâches. Bon, ça, on peut toujours pas aller dans ma chambre. Il me semble qu'à 21 h, on pouvait aller pioncer. Bon. Il a toujours pas mangé. Là, c'est fermé. On va aller voir ça. Je vais aller le revoir. Ben si. Je peux courir, attends. Ok, 2 fois. Bah d'accord, je me prenais le...
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates. Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then, we charge. Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him. Interesting.
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
Yes, he's tense.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup, open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
Not before you get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say.
He might have some advice, but you got to at least try to fight Measurehead first. Return if you fail.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself. I walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Seminese supremacist up there. Walk right past him. Then press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
The unpromising race pupil returns. And look, babe. The rich man has humiliated and emasculated this couple. He can only think in base materially.
Rich man really fuck.
His rage is already played out on the stage of history as impotent class warrior. I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door. Very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation.
Finally. Let's go.
Et comment je fais pour aller là? Attends, parce qu'elle est pas ouverte la porte en bas. Et elle est ouverte la porte?
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
The unpromising raise pupil return. The unpromising.
Attends, il m'a bien dit que c'était bon. Alors là, j'ai rien compris. Il vient de me dire que oui, je pouvais rentrer, non? Ah bah oui, c'est là. Ah. Cette porte-là qui l'ouvre.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly...
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing. You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal...
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mistake.
The drawer slides shut.
Oh non, non, oui. Ah, super.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, to your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments. Kunst und Kult, comrade. As you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, but like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and...
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the
You flip back to the front of the magazine. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the late. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the mess. Face it, you really aren't interested in. You flip back to the front of the magazine. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that as you leaf through this section, you come across several. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather if you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships, and this so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subjects. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of them. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines, Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even, and that precisely is what's problem. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in. That's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
Ah, come on. Can this article read your mind? Well, there you have it. No reason to get hung up on the pretentious. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of content. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out. Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know about it already, honestly. You flip back to the front of the magazine. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike." The tarpaulin cloak is still hanging on the rail. As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours.
Ah oui, c'est ça ou ça?
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street. We'll figure something out.
Though he finds this situation frustrating,
Attends. Le fumeur du balcon.
this is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
René, on a rencontré un René.
Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
Bon, attends. On va aller se reposer. Voilà. Est-ce que l'autre il va me laisser re-rentrer? Ah non, je peux même plus. D'accord. En fait, ok.
All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really, really hard here. Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of...
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this looks pretty advanced, all right. For now, let's just move on.
This is the night watchman's booth. The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slight. You take the painkillers. They are yours now. Oh boy, where to start? Maybe this was a... You stand and exit the booth.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. René looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René? Fine, but let's move. I don't want to be seen.
Alors comment je fais pour descendre maintenant?
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh. On with a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. The rusty control panel grows warm to the touch. A faint smell of burning rubber reaches your nostrils.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
The crane does not return to its... Before you stands a cargo container. Just before you stands a...
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? There may very well be, but we are not here to look for that. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the...
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Attends, j'avais un pied de biche, je peux pas l'ouvrir avec le pied. Y'avait pas un pied de biche tout à l'heure?
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer, you attempt to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Ah
You
non, ça sert à
attempt
rien.
to your left.
Non, je pensais que...
You're back before the cargo. You attempt to turn to your left. The lieutenant could no reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get philosophic.
Oh, mais non, je pense que... Ouais, que le...
Container,
The lyrics to this container song are the accent is so thick it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi. From the
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Everard, he looks after everyone.
the look in its deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind. Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers in the yard are green in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yards. There appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container covers.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Débardeurs Union logo on them.
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Oh, I don't know, mister. They say it's some... Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to...
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off. No, I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get...
He probably doesn't know anything anyway. Who in their right mind would tell him?
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same... Oh, Mr. Everett is usually in his office, of course. But he already left for the day. He always leaves around 10 PM. Bye-bye now.
Alors comment je peux partir vu que le côté c'était fermé?
A large table with two huge... You snatch up the red plastic card. It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container. The name, Etienne Hogarth, is written in the middle.
Ah, pour
Below
partir,
it.
ok. On dirait qu'il n'y a rien du tout. Des gants. Des glands de clair-obscur.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slides out to greet you. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics. It appears to be a to-do list written in large. Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. Leo must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes. Special whirling borscht. Water Everard's plant. All items on the list. The drawer slides shut.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business.
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Good luck trying to use it. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before you're guest key will open the lock. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Profil.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you. He doesn't like where this is going. You should punch a fucking hole in it. The murmur in your ears recedes slowly.
Bon, bah, allons à la voiture, sa fameuse voiture.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat.
I confiscated these for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. That they are. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cup with spinners.
The spinners shine so bright they reflect on the lieutenant's glasses. He doesn't say anything either. The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners.
Ah bah oui, c'est fermé. Ou alors faut lui vendre. Ah oui, prêteur sur gage, attends. « 200. » Ah ouais, prêteur sur gage, je fais comment? Oui, c'est fermé. Je vais dire que demain je vais vendre ça, hop.
Can I help you?
Alors attends, de mer. Et ouais, et je dois aller où? Région. Prêteur, gage.
Yes?
À croiser, prêteur sur gage. Là, c'est fermé. On va bouger.
A sturdy metal door. The door rattles against your knuckles. The door rattles again, but this time you hear.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more straight. Doesn't matter who I am.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. I already go check the backyard door.
Backyard door? There must be another.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Espérance.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pig man. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies. Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginable. We rarely see pigs round here, though.
She wants it to be something true and total.
Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration...
She means the opposite. You've lessened her desire to deface the building. The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two. The woman on the boat does not.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. It's where they grow whores like her. And they're whoremen. Pig's not half as dumb as he looks. I ain't no snitch, Pigstein.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Can't you tell? I haven't really started it yet. Yeah? Lying is cool. Watch your back.
Moins que l'encul et plus... Ah oui. Un frisson.
You're back. Good. Matter of fact, I don't. I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old. Don't worry. It's curable. On the contrary, officer. There are yet...
They must have someone in an overlooked position.
I suggest you go back and canvass for more suspects.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rust, while dull orange pearls hang from her. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say, everything is... Now look at you. You misery-clad simian. Barely able to tie your own laces. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Voila, you're doing it.
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow...
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still...
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, and seemly as it...
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help?
Ok, maintenant j'ai pognon. Et les enjoliveurs, pour les vendre, me faire du pognon.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname.
Where? There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the Revolution and do not warrant... Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go?
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Well? Great, thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Demain 21.
Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Ah.
This is the door to the room.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically. Well, we didn't even look at the body. And there's still much to do at the crime scene, too. We didn't search it thoroughly.
He would have put all of this more harshly, but he doesn't want you to feel completely discouraged.
I look forward to that. As for the interviews, we didn't get to meet Claire, but we did get into the harbor. It'll be easier to reach him tomorrow. We tried to interview the Wild Pines rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much...
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot.
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. The coalition government. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No, or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralinton leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away.
Or if they think you do.
The Moralists International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the real belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look...
It is more than that. There's some kind of The lieutenant breathes out a chestnut-scented cloud of cigarette smoke.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to...
Something kind and usual. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
Do you? We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez, most of them at least, especially the Union. Vigilantes. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they part.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate. Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make...
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Ouais.
The bed is cold and not particularly. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed. Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps, smells of alcohol and sweat, and grease. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here. Under your thrumming eyelids, You see a dizzying array of colors. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood? You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face? You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone. Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life? Oh no, funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours? No, it's gone. 3 times you failed Elysium. Everything. The Pale and the Useless. On the surface, the outer magnetosphere, burning furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. No, you haven't. You're just sleep-talking. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins. Stinky boy. You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping. You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up. So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad. This dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you... Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good going, buddy. Really? Because you feel even worse this morning than you did. You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know. The door is closed. Still nothing. The murmur in your ears recedes slowly.
C'est reparti. Ah.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and one loose thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it. One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Yeah, streetwise. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place.
Just a moment.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the freight.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone... The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead, too. The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into.
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night. But I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel. That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans, but you have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary, but they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said, oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day. There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
The lieutenant doesn't want to agitate the woman. Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that. Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but... if you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel. Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite...
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if we'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but by a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. We hit it off and...
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll...
I hope I've been useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Well, it's...
Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks, or hence its name...
To be honest, this animal sounds like a cryptid. You wouldn't happen to be searching for some kind of...
I smell pseudoscience, he's thinking. Not...
It's simply elusive.
Establishment. I thought so.
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was. Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to...
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle with...
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Not at all. Oh dear. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand.
Ok. Bon, il y a 50 millions de tâches.
Let me handle this.
You seem a little different today.
You are far from home, lieutenants. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed...
Not a muscle moves in her face, but...
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him. That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this, I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong-arming, nothing official.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have...
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one. Obviously, I'm a lawyer, a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients. Aggressive, you make your living enforcing...
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock worker.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders. Get sober. Do your job. Ask your questions and get the hell out of matinees.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota. Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and fascism, Brota. You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota. There's a slow, painful grab. It is one of betrayal. Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold.
This is where you say your bit.
Detective.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We are looking for Titus Hardy.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of...
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's...
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
He understood what you were doing. Taking in... Now watch the other guys fuck it up by
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Yes. Falling out of line to please him. This is...
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Use it to take a dig at his friend. Floodgates open.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
This one knows how to keep things going. He's a hothead, but not one to be taken lightly.
Yeah, you're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company.
Too late. You already got a pretty good picture of these guys. You can use this. You could take another look at the tracks in the yard. See if they fit with the characters here. It could be incriminating.
On va voir si la suggestion fonctionne.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have... Wow, still not doing it. You're bad at this. Maybe you keep failing because you suck.
Noted. Noted.
Heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails all over the yard. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear? There he still is, looking right through you.
17%, avec ça, je vais pas aller loin. Allez. Bien.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. The pretty boy you guys really love.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Well, maybe you should just fuck off then.
Don't worry. We are resourceful. We'll find a good topic for us to discuss.
Incriminating. Now that's a big boy word. Well...
Don't worry. We are...
On fait des trucs à faire. Hein.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equal.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free.
What's that magazine she's reading?
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got like...
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish. No, I don't.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen... Not really. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know, really long. I I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear any...
Okay. Uh-huh.
Soi-disant la chambre de gage, mais j'ai pas pensé tout le gage.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the Try to find something pretty and cool here. Then use it to win her back. Yes, buy something nice. A figurine. Big men on big horses, clad.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about...
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and...
This is what the loyalists look like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflaged.
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children...
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. This set of soldiers isn't...
You're probably talking about the... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could... I don't like either set very much, to be honest.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle. This is you. Golden orange. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12. If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. It's not often that I see officers. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers...
Who are your customers, usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people... As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what? Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on parole. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting.
I've had to take it, you know, since the People's Pile cleanup.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too. We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the...
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Yeah, there's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. So much disappointment. And early deaths. Cancer mode. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor. The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Late, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile melt. I like the theory more than the story. Outward.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
Ok, donc... Ah non, voici.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a serve, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying...
You weren't quiet yourself, officer. You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of...
Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
$15 real.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice. The light swirls in his face and glasses.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest. Truth be told, she...
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the street.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now.
Of course.
typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and this would make quite a statement in your living room. The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox.
And here you are, quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play in it.
Wow, a very large red... Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of...
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? Are dealing goods, not services. Welcome to Hjelmdal.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But you pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality? You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original. Wasn't there a sign?
Good morning to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the water lock, carving up a generous serving of salami.
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh?
The words, Daredevil Drop.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a water lock. It's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, it's all junk right now. Safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key to be reactivated. Wouldn't want anyone moving the water lock with debris still in. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes? Great! Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the water lock at work. They say the canal crew will be here at 7:15.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the 3rd day.
La côte est...
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins. Sure thing.
It is salty. It is savory. It is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Mais l'écluse mercredi. Mais ok, on est mardi demain. Au troisième jour.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the... Judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber, the cause was probably a motor vehicle. Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour. The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack. The panel served as a takeoff ramp. The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal. The Samaran butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge within the past 72 hours. Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and there are two good candidates, the Caprice 40 and the Linéaire. It's about the right size, and the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that very sturdy but light motor carriage. More likely than most, you'd have to follow the tracks to be sure. The lieutenant looks on, waiting for...
Any theories about what happened here? What kind of car do you think it was? That's quite likely, from what I can tell. We're not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
Somewhere in the depths of your alcohol-addled soul, you find a few threads that you can weave into a story.
The tip-top tourney champion?
The lieutenant patiently listens to the words coming from your mouth.
Jumping canals at night? If I was Jacob Irv, I wouldn't drive in Martinez. The roads are awful. In conclusion, it's a colorful theory, but I don't believe Jacob Irv did this. Should we go? If we must.
Ouais, non, ça en fait des tafs.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the late...
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret.
They're perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take...
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good. The shine on these sunglasses...
These are all boring. Boring, third-rate, ho-hum sunglasses. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct...
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, super material, very cool. UV resistant. Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster. Giant, hidden and alright. But these actually make your vision worse. It's like, yes, but they also make your soul quiver like...
Wow, officer. You look so cool. and they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed.
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
A man who knows his style.
Ah, je perds en perception.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand.
Don't be shy. These are premium class.
Save the economy. That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy. Very cool. The
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester. The box smells like cat piss or like an old.
economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too...
No luck? Why not take another look, officer? Keep supporting the economy.
You find your hands deep. The box smells like...
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
You find your hands deep. The box smells like cat...
Economical, but also trendy. Look first...
Bon, là c'est bouché de ce côté-là. Normalement c'est censé pouvoir traverser jusqu'au lendemain, mais...
I have really outdone myself.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston.
René, it's a little... Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't chef.
The only one you have.
The sandwich looks like a culinary wonder. Well made. In addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of a tomato.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then? Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, officers. I'm sorry.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty.
He means caviar socialist.
I wish I could, but I just don't know any.
Respect!
I'm not.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of union prick.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Hit that. Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I told these boys.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath. There he stands, proud.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties. Help with little things. Everard. Oh, yes. Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card. But Everard keeps...
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a vezaf. I hate this socialist rabble. But even siding with them is better than living your...
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written and I happen to have... Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers.
Well, he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's coming...
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer. I believe everyone has the right to think and do what...
Mon Dieu.
No, thank you. For being...
We are still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking. Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Règle once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied...
Cocaine? Cocainum? Sounds like our kind of king. And...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something a nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates.
Right. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political... I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and... money is...
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
She is nobody. This is none of your concern.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your...
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid...
I'm fine, goddammit! Mind you... No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes.
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before, René. Monsieur Claire had that...
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words. Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the talk?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out.
On fait des tâches secondaires quand même.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look over.
We can sit on benches after we've solved.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. You see a heavy steel door with the cobalt blue surface. The door does not.
Et... Bon, ça fait quand même pas mal de quêtes secondaires, de machin. Et là pour ce... La côte de main... Live, avançons plus. Et sur ce, je vais qui sont passés à tour. Ah bien.
Many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. That's the way it is. That's the way